it in the same way we did it before. But anyway, so My Last Days was a documentary series where we set out to try to, again, inspire people.
People often fail when they ignore red flags and decide to just keep pushing forward instead of reassessing the situation. It's a reminder that awareness and timing matter, especially in high-stakes environments. Shifting to the entertainment world, much of what we consume is shaped by powerful creative forces, and actors often explain that they connect to a role through personal details like style and identity. For example, stepping into a character can begin with understanding who that person is at their core, how they present themselves, how they move through the world, and what they represent. Now, this ongoing legal battle has taken yet another dramatic turn. Justin Baldoni has responded forcefully to the allegations against him, claiming he has substantial evidence that challenges Blake Lively's accusations. According to sources close to the situation, he has presented documents such as screenshots, emails, and text messages that he says offer a very different version of events. Legal observers note that if this material stands up in court, it could significantly influence the direction of the case. The timing of the release is also being viewed as strategic, potentially aimed at countering growing public and legal pressure. At the same time, Blake's team is reportedly reviewing the newly presented material and may introduce evidence of their own. With both sides preparing to defend their positions, the situation appears far from resolved. Public reaction has been intense, with social media users divided, some questioning Blake's claims, while others argue that presenting messages and documents does not automatically disprove serious allegations. As the court proceedings continue, the central question remains whether this new evidence will dramatically shift the case or simply add another layer to an already complex and highly publicized dispute. Sources familiar with the case claim there are inconsistencies in Blake's statements that have raised questions about the credibility of her allegations. Reports suggest that text messages between Blake and Justin Baldoni reflect a dynamic that differs from the one previously described publicly, with some insiders alleging the exchanges appear more cordial than strained. There are also claims that certain details may not have been fully addressed in earlier testimony, something legal analysts note could become significant if discrepancies are not clearly explained in court. At the same time, it's important to remember that private messages can be interpreted in different ways and do not automatically confirm or dismiss serious allegations. Public reaction has intensified as these reported receipts circulate, with some questioning earlier media portrayals of Justin while others caution against drawing conclusions before all evidence is formally examined. Speculation has even extended to whether outside influences shaped public narratives, though such claims remain unproven. In a surprising development, reports emerged that Blake's attorney stepped down, allegedly citing differences over the case, an unusual move that has added further intrigue to the situation. Meanwhile, Baldoni has reportedly submitted additional communications spanning the production timeline, which his supporters argue demonstrate efforts to maintain professionalism, address concerns, and encourage open dialogue. These messages, according to those backing him, portray a director attempting to collaborate and de-escalate tensions. However, until the court fully reviews and evaluates all submitted materials, the broader implications remain uncertain. Ultimately, the dispute has evolved into a high-profile battle over credibility, legal strategy, and public perception, with both sides preparing for what could be a decisive phase in the courtroom. As Baldoni continues presenting what he describes as strong documentary evidence, the legal battle has intensified, with every message, email, and timeline detail now facing close examination. Supporters argue that if the court finds his submissions credible, they could significantly influence both the legal outcome and public perception. Critics, however, caution that evidence must be carefully evaluated in context, and that credibility is ultimately determined in court, not online. With proceedings ongoing, the case has increasingly become a broader debate about transparency, strategy, and narrative control in high-profile disputes. Amid the escalating courtroom drama, commentary about authorship, creative control, and the challenges women face in claiming ownership of their work has resurfaced in public discussions connected to the controversy. Separate remarks attributed to those involved, including personal reflections about family life and vulnerability, have also circulated, adding emotional layers to an already complex situation. Anonymous crew accounts have described the production environment as collaborative from their perspective, though such statements remain informal and untested. Alleged leaked messages, said to be from Blake to friends, have fueled further speculation, with claims that they referenced personal struggles and concerns in ways some interpret as strategic. However, without formal verification in court, these interpretations remain allegations rather than established fact. Blake's reported cancellation of public appearances and travel plans sparked another wave of online debate. Some observers viewed it as an attempt to step away from mounting pressure, while others interpreted it as suspicious timing. Public opinion has remained sharply divided, with supporters emphasizing the strain of intense scrutiny and critics questioning the optics of stepping back. During escalating controversy, Justin has publicly maintained that his focus remains on his professional reputation and the integrity of the project. expressing regret over how events unfolded while standing by the authenticity of his submitted communications. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds has found himself drawn into speculation, with commentators debating whether he played any behind-the-scenes role in shaping media narratives, claims that remain unproven, as industry figures and commentators react. The situation underscores how quickly reputations can become entangled in legal and public relations battles. Ultimately, despite the flood of alleged leaks and commentary, the decisive factor will be how the court evaluates the evidence. Until formal rulings are made, much of the surrounding drama remains a mix of claims, counterclaims, and public interpretation rather than confirmed conclusions. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, long viewed as one of Hollywood's most polished and charismatic couples, suddenly found their public image under strain as controversy surrounding the legal disputes intensified. Industry chatter suggested that studios and producers were watching developments closely, mindful of how quickly public perception can influence casting decisions and future collaborations in an industry built heavily on trust and reputation. Even unproven allegations or ongoing disputes can create uncertainty around major projects. What began as a legal disagreement gradually evolved into a broader conversation about image management, influence, and the risks that come when private conflicts spill into the public arena. As reports of leaked messages and cancelled appearances circulated, online debate grew increasingly divided. Some commentators interpreted the emerging receipts as damaging, while others argued that selective leaks rarely provide full context. Blake's temporary withdrawal from public events fueled further speculation. Supporters framed it as a reasonable step back amid intense scrutiny, while critics questioned the timing. Meanwhile, Ryan also became the subject of online theories, though many of the claims about behind-the-scenes involvement remain speculative and unsupported by verified evidence. Social media amplified every development, with conspiracy theories spreading rapidly despite a lack of concrete proof. Rumors about secret retreats, strategic media plans, or coordinated narrative control captured attention, but none were substantiated. At the same time, members of the film's team reportedly expressed frustration that the growing controversy overshadowed their creative work. From their perspective, what should have been a focus on storytelling and collaboration became dominated by headlines and public debate. By releasing extensive communications, Justin Baldoni's camp aimed to defend his professional reputation and respond directly to allegations. Supporters viewed this as vindication, while others maintained that only a court can properly interpret the material. As speculation about Blake's whereabouts continued, fueled by unconfirmed social media sightings in Europe, the broader situation underscored how quickly reputations, partnerships, and carefully managed public personas can become entangled in legal and media storms. Ultimately, beyond the rumors and reactions, the lasting impact on all involved will depend not on online narratives, but on verified facts and the outcome of the legal process. Unconfirmed reports claimed that a hotel employee had seen someone resembling Blake checking in discreetly under a different name, wearing dark sunglasses and keeping a low profile. Paparazzi speculation quickly followed, though no verified evidence confirmed her location. As rumors spread, online debate intensified. Was she simply stepping away from overwhelming scrutiny, or was her absence being interpreted as part of a larger strategic move? In high-profile disputes, even routine travel can become magnified into headline drama. The situation highlighted how fragile celebrity image can be. Only months earlier, Blake had been widely praised for her public appearances, philanthropy, and carefully curated online presence. Now, ongoing legal tensions and circulating leaks were prompting questions about reputation, brand partnerships, and future projects. In Hollywood, perception often moves as quickly as facts, and unresolved controversies can cast long shadows over careers. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni publicly emphasized his focus on completing the film and protecting his professional credibility. Cast and crew members who spoke out described him as steady during a turbulent period. Though such accounts represent individual perspectives rather than definitive conclusions, supporters framed his release of communications as an effort to defend himself, while others stressed that only the court can determine their significance. Speculation also extended to Ryan Reynolds, with commentators questioning how the controversy might affect him. However, many of the circulating theories, ranging from coordinated departures to elaborate PR strategies, remained unsupported by verified information. Public narratives often expand beyond confirmed facts, especially when social media amplifies partial details. Actor T.J. Miller later commented that some of the newly surfaced material aligned with concerns he had previously voiced, though interpretations of that material remain contested. He expressed sympathy for those under pressure while maintaining his perspective on events. Industry observers note that reputational recovery in Hollywood is possible, but it typically depends on transparency, accountability, and the eventual outcome of formal proceedings. As headlines continue and opinions remain divided, the central reality is that much of what is circulating exists in the realm of allegation and interpretation. The lasting impact on anyone involved will ultimately depend not on rumor or online debate, but on verified facts and the conclusions reached through the Legal process. The controversy highlights how quickly professional relationships can fracture when private communications become public. Supporters of Justin argue that his repeated emphasis on professionalism and focus on completing the film reflects stability during a turbulent moment, while critics maintain that full context is essential before drawing conclusions. Although some observers link the timing of the leaked messages to Blake's reported absence from public view, no verified explanation has confirmed why she stepped back, leaving room for speculation rather than certainty. Blake Lively, once widely associated with polished red carpet appearances and an approachable public persona, now finds her name at the center of intense debate. With no detailed public statement addressing the controversy, online narratives continue to fill the gap. Some portray her as strategically managing the situation behind the scenes, while others frame her as someone overwhelmed by mounting scrutiny, without confirmed facts. Both portrayals remain interpretations rather than established truth. Meanwhile, Justin has publicly stated that his priority remains the film itself, expressing hope that attention will eventually return to the creative work rather than the surrounding drama. T.J. Miller has indicated he would speak again if necessary, reinforcing how multiple voices continue to shape the public conversation. Ultimately, the unfolding situation serves as a reminder of how quickly reputation can shift in the entertainment industry. Public image, media narratives, and legal disputes can collide in unpredictable ways, and once speculation gains momentum, it can be difficult to contain. Until formal proceedings conclude or those involved provide clear, verified statements, much of what circulates will remain a mix of opinion, perception, and unresolved questions rather than definitive fact.